Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. We are in day 3 of StarSeries Season 7. We have got 4 games in front of us today for StarSeries, and we've got our first one right now. It is CDCD, otherwise known as Can't Describe, who made, by the way, a bit of a flash in the first game of the tournament. Of course, they were the ones up against KP. They were the underdogs and they were able to beat KP. So high expectations from them. We have on the other side Duza, their first tournament. That's this one, of course. Duza, they made it through here, or to here with the qualifiers that they played on Thursday. Yesterday they played their first game, also up against KP, and unfortunately for them, they have lost that game. We're gonna see if they can get their first point of the season, or if they are, of course, gonna go to 2-0, which is, or 0-2 rather, which is not that ideal. I'm not gonna be casting by myself. I'll be joined by Vickermond.
Hey Shiver, how you doing?
Doing well. You are done with the breakfast?
Yeah, well, I gave up on it. I wanted to get on into the cast. So yeah, I mean, Duza in the qualifiers, I thought they looked very good compared to most of the teams there. I don't think they dropped a single match or even looked like they would come close. There was one, I think in the finals, one kind of cool game where they were behind, but they did like a 5-man smoke, like waiting in the jungle. That was kind of neat.
It was.
Against.
I can't believe that you actually saw that, because we talked on Saturday and you hadn't seen them then, but you have caught up. Because that last game, for anybody, I mean, it was 3 a.m. for me in the morning, so the cast is kind of crap. But the game, if I was awake, I might not. Even then, I might not have known what was actually going on. Because you're right, it was such a crazy ending.
It was really intense. Yeah. So we know that they can come through in the clutch, but it's a very new team. I'm not that familiar with the players, honestly. I think maybe like Mib the Best looks a little familiar, but offhand I couldn't say where I've seen them before. So they didn't do that well against Kaipi, as you pointed out. I do have to say that Kaipi's draft and their strategy in the game against Duza was much stronger than their draft and strategy in the game against CDCD.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily overgeneralize based off that. I do like CDCD's draft in this game a little bit better though.
Yeah, so far we have the IO and the Naga Siren for CD, so already very strong, 2 supports. It is kind of saying that they want to go on the safe lane, and for now I am assuming that Naga Siren is going to be a support, not necessarily so, of course. But looking strong already in terms of control and global. I mean, imagine relocating in with a song into a team fight. That's already going to be something insane that I hope that we're going to be able to see. Duza have also got some strong heroes though. I mean, we have an OD and a Visage. Definitely 2 heroes that normally you find, if not banned out first, then picked up first, or banned out in the second banning phase. So I think they are going to be happy with this. I have to say, the 4 games that I saw of Duza last Thursday all included Nature's Prophet and Doom. And I only have, like yesterday as well, I've only seen MIB the Best, only and alone on Nature's Prophet. And he is banned out, so I'm curious to see what he plays instead of Nature's Prophet. And one interesting thing to note maybe as well is that every single time that he did indeed play that Nature's Prophet, he ended up being First Blood and Second Blood.
Wow.
Yeah.
So both teams, especially Duza right now, are just positioning to protect their OD. I think that's pretty sensible. They've taken out the Razor, which is the most common response to him. Razor has quite a good record against Outworld Devourer. It's part of the reason why OD had such a tough time at TI3, is teams would either ban him, or when they let him through, it would only be because they could take a sort of a counter approach. But Duza here banned Razor, and then with their 3rd pick, they actually secured the Nexus. So that's another hero that's frequently used from more of a support role, but still one of the options for dealing with the OD.
Yeah, we do have Lifestealer as a hero that we have seen up against the OD a couple of times. Not the most ideal one, but he can definitely take on that role. And of course, it's just a strong carry regardless, so it can also still be on the tri lane or on a suicide lane. We've seen that also. Very diverse hero in general. Lifestealer picked up by CD. We have a Clockwork and a Nature's Prophet banned out, so that's 2 offlaners already removed. And actually, CD has only banned out offlaners, with the Darkseer, with the Timbersaw also removed. One thing that is still in the pool, and right now maybe it's a bit too late, depending on if Naga Siren is going to be a carry here, or if Nyx Assassin maybe is going mid with OD on the safe lane, which is a possibility. But Abaddon is still in the pool, and we've seen Abaddon actually making quite an impact in the games lately. But it looks like he is going to be completely ignored in this one.
Yeah, I mean, if the teams want to run him in a semi-carry role, you can still do that.
Yeah.
But I do think.
You have some internet issues, I think. You kind of drop away. Or your microphone issues. Might be
Sorry
one.
about that. I think I'm back.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, internet is being a little spotty. I mean, yeah, a lot of the new heroes are making an impact
I
here
am
and
I am
there.
gonna call you back though, because Skype
Okay.
apparently messed up with that. Let's call him back. Welcome back.
Hi. Sounds better now, I
Yes,
think.
it does.
Uh, I mean, I don't know how many of the new heroes we'll see in this game particularly. I do think that all four are viable to at least some extent. We saw Abaddon, of course, quite a bit. I think Troll Mid is something Kaipi's been playing with. All the heroes have a lot of upside, so they're all sort of options. And there's still room for one of these teams to deploy something like that. I mean, Duza, they still have room for a 1, basically, because they have the Bounty Hunter to do offlane. They could do Nyx Assassin, Visage, and their choice of carry, and then the OD mid. CDCD really doesn't have a good OD mid response. I know you mentioned the Lifestealer. I found that to be a little better in theory than actually in practice. Like, it seems like Lifestealer should be okay, but every time I actually see it run, he doesn't do well at all. Wow, they go for Brew. Now it's really weird how the laning's gonna go.
Yeah, I have to say I wasn't really expecting this because Brewmaster up against OD. Like, Brew is kind of like, okay, he is tanky, he can survive for a while, but he needs his clap also to get some last hits, especially to get to his bottle, and at some point he will be left with no mana to even try and clap, no matter how full his bottle is. It just will not be possible, so that should not be a mid matchup, but it might be a solo lane, in which case I'm hoping it's going to be a solo safe lane, and an aggressive trial lane, and then still another mid up against the OD. I mean, if you're going to be up against the OD, or maybe they're just going to throw away the lane with put a Beastmaster or Dragon Knight still there or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, this was a long time ago, but Navi's run the safe lane carry Brewmaster before. It's not totally unviable. Brewmaster Aghanim's rush is a little better now than it used to be because of these 6.78 changes. So his ult is actually weaker before Aghanim's than it was, but after Aghanim's it's pretty strong. You can go things like Cuirass fast. It has some potential.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend gets removed from the pool by Duza, who are still under the assumption that there is still no mid hero picked up yet for Can't Describe. Hey, what do you think about Naga Siren in the mid up against an OD?
Well, she has the advantage of not being an int hero, so her damage isn't based off of her, like, spells. Sorry, it's not based, it won't get suffer from auto attack from prison. But the problem is that Naga in the mid really relies on being able to spam out the Riptide as much as possible. She has very, very bad base damage because it was actually basically still a legacy from the post-TI2 nerfs. So I think she'll really struggle to do much. It's tough because she's melee, so she's have to walk into harassment range, and she won't have the mana to Riptide.
Yeah.
So it's something they could try. I suspect they do want to do the Lifestealer. It's going to be a little less bleak with LS than it is with Naga.
Well, soon we'll know, but for first we'll know the Doom. Okay, so that's gonna be a hero that they are very familiar with. They run him in a safe lane normally, and to be fair, I mean, their lineup looks pretty straightforward in terms of who is going where. We have Doom on the safe lane supported by Visage and Nyx Assassin, a combination that has been played by them very often, with Unstable on the Nyx Assassin, Capron on the Visage. I've seen this support combination often. After First Blood is spilled on the bottom lane by MIB the best, those two will go ganking on the top lane. Like, you can set your clock for it, it's kind of funny. We have got OD, will be in the mid, and Bounty Hunter on the offlane. I'm kind of happy with MIB playing a different hero than the Nature's Prophet than we've seen from him so far, though, because, like I said, I mean, he's just... I mean, don't get me wrong, they won those 4 games in the qualifiers, because otherwise they wouldn't be here. So,
Right.
Fair enough, he got himself back on track with the Hand of Midas, but still, every time giving away the First Blood should not happen, and hopefully with the Bounty Hunter, he'll be able to stay alive a little bit longer.
I gotta say the Doom pick is really strong in this context. He's great against Brewmaster, like pretty much shuts down Brewmaster completely. Because as long as you nail Brew with the Doom before he's able to ult, Doom actually turns off Brewmaster's passive, in addition to making him unable to cast spells. So that is a completely helpless panda, whatever, bear type thing.
Red.
He's not going to be able to do anything if he's doomed. Not to mention, Doom is also quite good against Lifestealer. So if you're right that this is a hero that they've been running a lot,
Yeah.
I wonder if this is a little bit of not too much, like not enough research coming from CD, because I really think this Doom could just blow this game open. It's a really good pick.
Yeah, I guess Duza is a little bit more of an unknown team for
Yeah,
everybody,
absolutely.
of course, for people watching as well. I'm expecting not a lot of people saw the qualifiers that I cast, since I said it was at 3 a.m., so it's kind of late. And people that did
I
might
just
not
watched
be
the
watching
VODs.
right now. Yeah, watch the VOD. You should definitely, like, people on the live stream, watch the VOD if you have time, of course, of the game that was TLP versus Duza Game 2. You can mute it because the things that I say are not that interesting, but the game is good. I was so tired, it's insane.
Oh sure, 3 a.m. is not a fun time to cast up.
And I just streamed all day as well, thinking I would be going to sleep early.
Oh, grim.
But no.
Grim.
Let's see who's playing what. On the side of Duza, they are on the Radiant side, of course, for this one. As, well, I don't actually know who was in first, but that's the way Starlighter goes. One that is first gets to choose, and maybe MIB chose Radiant. But we are seeing MIB the best playing the Bounty Hunter. In the mid lane we have the OD played by Legion. On the bottom lane is the safe trial lane with Capron on the Visage and Unstable on the Nyx Assassin. And then of course Limbo, the one that they are protecting, it is the Doom. And that's the last one of Duza.
Yep. Looking towards CDCD, so X, Moscow 5 team that plays second at Starladder 3, then X 3D clan with a couple new additions. And the offlane will be Sidoi on the Windrunner. We don't actually get to watch offlane Windrunner that much, so this should be a fun thing to watch. And then Stellioner in the middle on Brewmaster against the OD. I gotta say, to me, this seems like one of the least fun lanes you can possibly have, but we'll see how he manages to get on with it. And then the tri-lane, SQ-Reen on the Io, Zonder on the support Naga Siren, and the Nexus in the carry role as Lifestealer.
Yeah, did they get some sentries by the way? No, they did not. Well, this oh, and yes, they did. Never mind. They have sentries and dust on Zonder, so that will be not a fun lane for MIB either there. But I think in the, like you said, Stelliator, I mean, you're going up against someone that you know should be able to win the lane from you. That's not fun.
No, I honestly don't really see how Brew even gets very good last hits at all in this lane, which is a shame because it's a hero who he's not the most item dependent mid in the world, but he's pretty, like, he needs a few items to start out with at least, and you can just see he's being completely stymied. He does manage to get a third last hit in there. Legion actually could be dominating this lane even harder than he is, I think. He probably isn't getting as many denies as I would think he's capable of.
Okay, well, we have Sidoi having a bit of issue. I mean, the thing that we don't normally see Windrunner offlane anymore because if you just hit her, she'll be having to back off, and that's basically what people discovered. That if you hit her, she won't be able to do anything. So normally she goes farming Ancients, and that's all fine. Apart from the Ancients are actually blocked by Duza, so this Windrunner is getting absolutely nothing at all.
It's worth noting that that was absolutely the intention, but Duza figured it out. So you can see that he's actually cut all of these trees here.
Yeah.
He went first item quelling. So this is with the intention of Windrunner has good enough range that you could just bomb the Ancients from up here. You could actually stack them because they'll head this way, and then you can farm it from this position as well. But this block is really, really brutal. I'm actually quite surprised that they didn't pool Windrunner some sentries with the knowledge that it would be likely that Duza would go for the block.
Yeah, I guess luckily for Windrunner, it's only a sentry ward that blocks it. Since
sure,
it will
but that's
disappear
a long
soon.
time. Yeah.
But it's still a long time. I mean, you're still
He
going
has
to be
zero.
behind. Zero
Yeah,
experience, 0 last hits.
0 XP is not a fun time. I do like that he hasn't chosen to level anything yet, so he wants to try to take like power shot if he can, but if he needs wind run, he'll obviously take that.
Yeah. We'll see how close he can get, and we'll also see when the supports try to rotate and get a kill in there. For now, they're just harassing Windrunner away, who now actually has been forced to pick up Windrun.
Yeah.
So far, MBB is still alive. This first sentry ward has been put down, but he realized that and he was able to back off in time. He is also still level 1 though. He's not getting in range of that experience.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I had the wrong take on this lane. or maybe it's just unfolding in a way that I wasn't expecting. What Stellianer has done is he's using, and this is actually really, really smart, is he's efficiently using his low mana spell, the Drunken Haze. Instead of the usual clap farming, he's completely given up on that. He's just maintaining the Drunken Haze debuff as much as possible on Legion to give him that really high mischance. So even though his, intelligence is being drained completely, so far he's had enough to still crow himself to do Drunken Haze. And Legion, meanwhile, hasn't gotten much in the way of Essence Aura procs, nor does he have his Tranquil Boots. So OD is not being able to always chain the Astral Imprisonment, and Stellianer is actually almost not even in this lane, but doing a lot better than I thought.
Yeah, I guess it's a good solution. You know you're not going to get that much, but you're just going to try to make the other person's life as miserable as you possibly can, and with Drunken Haze, that's working out quite nice for him. 22 for 8 is still pretty decent for the OD, or at least pretty decent compared to the Brewmaster. But Brewmaster at 14 to 5, like you said, it's definitely not hopeless at all.
No, 14 to 5 against OD is nothing to be ashamed of. When you're on something like Storm and OD just ends up being like 50 and 50, and you're like 3 for 3 at 10 minutes, this is definitely a much better posture to play from.
Oh, the dust on the top lane. MIB gets a Riptide. Are they gonna dive this past the tower? Looks like they are. The Open Wounds is there as well, and he cannot escape. He will be first blood. Tries to do the best he can up against Zonder, and actually he lives. Pops herself and he lives. Forcing Zonder away apparently was the key. And no first blood given just yet.
Wow, he walks away with... that was definitely it's a tough position because they started so close to the tier 1 already that there's quite a bit of cover that he can take, but... Honestly, I think CDCD are doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, they have zoned him out quite successfully. I'd say that he is now getting a lot of experience though, because the lane is pushing in, so he'll be level 3 soon. For now, he's still level 2. We still have the support of Duza, still not rotating around. Perhaps they're waiting for a level 6 minute to see if they can, of course, evade certain wards that might be there, even though we can see that there's not any wards up. There's only one observer ward left up for CD, which is one at the top rune. Keeping tabs on what movement Legion is going to be getting. What runes he's going to be getting, if it's not going to be bottom. They are expecting Windrunner to be safe. And Windrunner actually, oh look at that, that's so sad.
Yeah.
He has one stack. It spawned again. He's like, oh my god, the ward disappeared. Yes! No.
Yeah, but they just refreshed
ward.
it.
Yep.
It's so tough. He was definitely counting on this to be available now, and unfortunately it's Sentry'd again, and they still haven't... I really think if they had dewarded this, CDCD would be in just such a more comfortable place. The fact that C2A is still level 1 is really tough.
Yeah, it's very, pretty tough, very tough even, I'd say. I would actually say maybe rotate, go jungling together with some supports or something, just to maybe get more than what you're getting right now.
He doesn't have Power Shot, which is your main jungling tool.
True. Snipe some experience from mid, perhaps? Nah, it's...
Yeah. The issue with something like this is when you're the offlane, you don't really want to, you can't really reduce... Lifestealer and Doom are probably farming evenly, right? And in fact they are, but you don't really know, but you can guess, because they both have free farm.
Yeah, apart from the Hand Midas, actually.
Yeah, and mid is such a hard lane. You don't want to screw up the fact, Stellianer is almost even in this lane, which is still really, really incredible to me and surprising. So you definitely don't want to put him behind on levels, because that could tilt OD's way in a hurry. So it ends up being where do you go? And right now it's just plinking away at this ancient black dragon, and that might take him to level 2, I think, actually.
Yeah,
so that's
it should be taking him to level 2. It's gonna be giving him the power shot to maybe get some jungles going. And in the meantime, Stellianer, he claps, he rotates, the dust is already there, he can split, he will split, goes for it. In comes Unstable though, but it's too late. First blood already given and Unstable. He might actually just be second. In comes the tether, Spike Carapace trying to help out, but it doesn't matter. Double kill for Stellianer, the first one to leave his lane. And the first one to also get paid for it with a double kill. And of course a haste rune helping out quite handily. And look at that. 1500 gold. Will be able to pick up mana boots if he wants them. And he wants them. And I can save up for his blink dagger.
Haste rune definitely the best rune by far that he could have asked for there. It let him just join the fight immediately. Get the brew. Brew is dead. Get the bounty hunter. Bounty hunter is dead in the water at that point. The second kill was just basically a freebie. Unstable probably shouldn't have even... He TP'd in before he saw that Brew was going to commit the ultimate to it, but It's just unfortunate and they end up losing too.
Oh, it's not yet over because on the way back, suddenly, and I got another rune, which this time is an invis rune, and he's sitting in the mid lane. Sentry ward got dropped just in case. Just in case there's some more around. There's still Naga Siren who's trying to farm some, and he is trying to make Legion overcommit. Because of course Naga Siren sitting at level 4. In comes a clap. Naga Siren comes back and comes Impale though, and Sable hanging around as well. And Snare will not do anything anymore. Maybe a Riptide, but oh well.
Every time you say Legion, I get a little confused because they have a guy named Legion, and they're on the Radiant, which in Heroes of New Earth is called the Legion. So,
really?
As an honorary Huntrash person, I'm getting very, very confused here.
Oh, well, I didn't even know that. I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I blame Duza.
Legion. We are many. Another clap.
Yeah,
That's what I think about it. When I see Legion is like we are many.
Right. I don't know what I think about he eventually goes Treads, which used to be the boot of choice on OD. Lately we've seen a lot more Tranquil boots to try to proc Essence Aura. I guess he's high enough level before he got boots that maybe he felt the Tranks weren't quite as important. They have a big smoke gang coming though. If they can make something of this, I think they can at least equalize.
Yeah, we've got a smoke up by the way. It is Bounty Hunter that is going back towards his lane and came middle, but wasn't able to do anything there. Unstable and Capron have smoked up. We actually have Capron already level 6. So they sacrifice some farm on that from the OD. Oh, and look at screen. He is solo life rather. In comes the Shuriken toss. It's not enough though. They don't get him down. They need some extra. Can they get it in? That tether giving him that extra movement speed might just be enough. The familiar's flying through. That he's not going to sacrifice them though. And they won't be able to get anything with that gank. I actually think that the birds might have been able to get screen regardless if they just continued flying and landed a couple of hits.
It was tough because he was heading for the tier 1 top, and you can just easily lose the familiars to that. I actually think this just is a little bit early. They probably could have gotten the Bounty Hunter to level 6 without necessarily needing to change lanes around too much. They're going to try to pressure the tier 1 now just to make something of this rotation. And they have Doom, but I wish they had Track for this, because that would have been easy kill on the IO with Track.
But yeah, Doom is sacrificing some farm for this. Of course he has Devour and Handamidas, so he will still get some solid farm there regardless, but if they don't get anything from this rotation, that's going to be a lot of wasted time for the Doom, who just gives up free farming on the bottom lane. Where right now, Cedo is level 5.
Exactly, yeah, like they gave... The fact that they left and released that pressure just means Windrunner goes from almost completely useless to higher level than some of like their supports. Higher level than Unstable by 2.
That's insane. Very insane. In the meantime, the tier 1 tower already taken down quite far. The Doom goes up though. They want to go for it. Soliener is in trouble, gets an impale as well. They should be resulting into a kill, especially with OD coming around as well. Soliener will die. And at least they get something from that one, but I'm not sure if that's the right kind of kill that you want to have. Well, they want to have the brew, of course, but they gave a lot up for it.
They definitely did, but it's still an okay kill. They are ahead on levels, so Visage has his ult. Okay, well now IO has his ult, but Visage ult is good. The fact that OD and Doom are leveling so well is also very, very strong. So I think Duza are in okay position. I mean, Doom got the Midas, really uncontested. He's farming like a madman. We'll see what he tries to actually go into. He has 2.6k banked. Could be Radiance.
It could definitely be a Radiance. Could also be still Shadow
Bounty Hunter top, by the way.
Bounty Hunter top, no more at least. There was a dust used by Zonder. Screen wasn't even needed for that kill. Nexus, of course, being there. Nexus has been in all 3 kills so far. He's actually doing still really well. He is slightly behind on last hits compared to the Doom. But that's, I mean, he has been diving a little bit more, perhaps, if you can call it that. And of course, net worth he is behind because he does not have Hand of Midas, nor does he have Devour.
Devour, yeah. I do think that they have a lot of potential for, if they get decent map control and the tier 1 tower bottom, he goes Shadowblade, that's cool. The tier 1 tower bottom was very, very important for CDCD's plans because they need room to relocate onto people. They have very strong relocate ganks with Brewmaster and then Lifestealer inside of either the IO or the Brew. That can be huge.
I have to say, I'm quite surprised that they didn't deny the tower when they abandoned it, because it was already on 102 HP when they killed Stellianer. So they could have denied it. Well, MIB dying again here on the top lane. No escape for him. One more hit. The dust gets popped. Infest out. Does the trick. Here comes Limbo. Has got the Doom. Might try to get a kill with it. Uses Shadowblade. Gets a kill regardless. And that is gonna be a Doom. And a crit, of course, coming off from that wolf that he ate. In comes the teleports. And they will try to save Nexus. Nexus, though, taking a lot of damage. Slow up on Limbo. In comes the ensnare and the split. And Limbo will be brought down. Use the Shadow Blade. There's no dust anymore. Zonder. He used it on the Bounty Hunter. Or gave it to Screen, who used it on the Bounty Hunter. That's going to be pretty damn tough. I really thought they were going to have that kill.
Same. Now, he doesn't have mana for his TPs, but I doubt that they'll check. They do get the tower. I wanted to talk about the tier 1 tower. I feel that maybe they didn't deny it because they thought that depending on where position they could make a defense of it next time CDCD went for it. Again, the tier 1 bot is actually really important for them this game, so they didn't want to lose it if they could afford to save it in any way, even at low HP.
Yeah, we've got MIB stalking Stallianer. They know that they don't have a split. The track goes up from the side. We have got OD sitting around with an Invis rune. There's also a Visage, just some harassment for now. Support's not coming in just yet, and the supports do have dust once again. A lot of movement coming around without really any action undertaken. I mean, Legion has just been sitting top for now and not able to get anything. He does have his mechanism complete though, which is of course very helpful in terms of wanting to fight.
I agree. I think OD is now pretty well positioned. He did get... Brew has been rotating around, leading some of the pushes to create space, because CDCD is the team that sort of wants more room to operate. Duza can just 5-man ball and be fine. CDCD wants to sort of split up, catch people out, find them in the jungle, kill them, etc. So they needed Brew to be mobile after hitting level 6 and getting his boots, while OD can just sit there and farm. So he's now up to 80 last hits, he has his mech, he can go towards whatever it is he wants to make next, be it Force Staff or something.
Yeah. Oh, in
Brew
comes
has Blink though, so that's pretty good.
Doom up on Seedoy, tries to run, but that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Limbo is having some fun with his ulti here. He's now got 2 kills. Of course, the tier 1 tower already down, and I'll try to not make people drink all too much. But maybe I just want people to drink a lot. Could happen as well. Wow, down goes Nyx Assassin. Sentry dropped in the middle of the lane for that one. No vendetta for him.
They need so much detection though. It's actually a huge tax on their supports.
Yeah,
oh, nice knock ult.
Legion and Capron. Oh, I think you're gonna go down. Look at that damage. Down they go. Nice attempt to still get something out of that with the Sanity's Eclipse, but that was just very nicely set up from Zonder.
That was a monstrous ult. Really, really smart. They were not in vision, keep in mind, but he knew that they were TPing out of there, and so he sets up the ult, starts running it from here, walks all the way over, catches the 2 of them TPing. That was really, really excellent play from Zonder. I was just about to say, like, these supports are going to be super poor, so it's just in how they use their spells. Like, they're not going to have any items, pretty much. SQ Reen, like, both of them need to carry detection, because there's Bounty Hunter, Shadowblade Doom, and Nyx Assassin that, if he has Vendetta up, can try to Vendetta around. So you need just gobs of detection for this team.
On the upside, I guess, that they already buying detection anyway for some, so why not also for some extra, as we have MIB might be in some trouble. The dust is already there as well as the ensnare. Is locked in position. In comes a split as well, just for that. In comes a Doom. Looks for a target, maybe, gets impaled for now, gets stunned up for now. Cedo tries to windward himself away, Soul Assumption chasing him down, though. That's gonna be a kill. Nyx Assassin already dead, Bounty Hunter of course still to be picked off, as Limbo gets himself another kill. Smashes down the IO, and now comes the Doom, up on Nexus. Collapse from Stallianer with the haste rune, tries to slow him down, but the track is there as well, giving some extra movement speed, and now they might actually go for Stallianer. Nexus hanging around. Yeah, still has haste.
That was... Honestly, these mids are really doing a lot for both their teams. Like, Stallianer, that was a brilliant play, actually. You know that you run faster than Lifestealer right now because you have this haste rune. So, you have to save him. He's doomed. Like, you're not actually that likely to die, whereas Lifestealer is incredibly likely to die. So, like, being able to save him that way with the Thunderclap and then the Drunken Haste to follow was excellent play from Brew. And honestly, Doom's been having a huge game, too.
Yeah, Lifestealer almost has a Desolator ready, actually. He's been in 8 out of the 9 kills, while sitting on top for most of the time, that's quite impressive, I'd say.
Lifestealer's in Brew, about to have another fight.
Blink forward onto Capron. Go for him. Fairly easy kill by the looks of it. Capron tries it what he can. In comes Unstable as well. Vendetta's himself away, actually. The dust gets popped. Doesn't reach Nyx Assassin, though.
Even just 1 kill there is great. It's more involvement. They're gonna get Cedoy mid, maybe? No, again,
nice
CDCD are really good about having like 1 or 2 people always present to cover for whoever's out of position or being chased.
Radiant's middle tower.
More dust brought by the Naga Siren.
Yeah, he's not gonna have items, but like as long as he uses his spells effectively, it's fine.
Yeah, oh. Screen, able to tether himself away. Have we seen a relocate yet today?
Yeah. We've seen there was one into that middle fight, the big middle
yeah.
engagement, to finish off Bounty Hunter. And I think there was one earlier, but that's about it.
He has it up again.
It's just as important to have the threat of relocate as it is to have the actual relocate sometimes.
Very true. Just to force your opponent to stick together more than they normally would, and therefore farm less efficient.
Yeah.
Also something that they, should be doing. We were talking about how CD supports are going to be very low on farm. But in the meantime, Nyx Assassin is still sitting at level... He only just got level 7 like a second ago, which is now still the lowest level in the game. And he is basically not having anything either. Died 3 times. Capron,
yep.
He has a little bit more. He actually also got himself a Medallion of Courage, so we might have a Roshan being attempted soon. But
it's
also
tough.
not very farmed.
It's going to be really hard, actually, for Duza to take Roche. The Medallion is mostly just for extra, like, Doom damage and stuff. First of all, they're Radiant. Second of all, there's still a Tier 1 tower at full HP bottom. So CDCD has just much, much better Roche access. It'll be tough to slip one onto them, unless you win a big team fight. Sidoi is done with Mechanism, by the way.
And a BKB up at the same time for the Doom. So 2 items picked up, and also 2 items that will allow them to fight even more, both of the teams.
Yeah. I still kind of favor CDCD, honestly, but the thing is that Doom is like unanswerable almost by this lineup. Like, he is such a big deal and is so difficult for anything they have to actually respond to. It's almost like Doom is almost too good in the sense that you want to Doom everybody, but you can only choose one person. But I think any of Stallioner or Nexus are great right now. Eventually, it might be good in some fights to actually Doom Sidoi because he's carrying the mech.
We'll see if that's going to be a choice. Of course, a lot is going to depend on if the split is up or not.
Absolutely.
And how big of an initiation power he has. He has got the Blink Dagger, as we already seen, so does give a little bit of extra edge there, as Duza is actually advancing here into the mid lane. They haven't taken down the tier 1 top or bottom, but they are now trying to maybe force something out around the tier 2 middle. This seems to me quite risky, but on the other side, they're 3 versus 5. There's 2 people bottom. They can, of course, relocate in, and actually they will relocate in. The clap and the split already there. Legion trying to get himself away. BKB turned on by Limbo. The Doom is already there, but Nexus, he's not letting himself get run away by that one, and the song doesn't hit on Limbo because, of course, he is in his BKB, but they will go for the Bounty Hunter, and they will take him down. In comes an Impale, trying to do something to Nexus, but he'll be fine. Legion's still here. I'm not sure why he actually came back, because that might have just killed him. It actually did kill him. That's quite questionable.
I think that whole fight was extremely questionable. I think you were completely right, Shiva. They didn't need to try to push the tier 2. I think they feel more behind than they actually are, but this is the tough thing with new teams sometimes. You don't have that instinctual level of like knowing where everybody else is at. Like, Doom is doing so well this game that in my opinion they really don't need to like feel like the game is slipping away just yet. But I suspect that the other 4 people all felt like, oh, we're falling quite a bit behind, we need to start taking some calculated risks. Which I'm not sure they needed to do, and the risk that they took, it just gives a lot away. It gives Roche away, almost certainly.
Yeah. On top of that, the risk that they took could have been a lesser risk by trying to take a tier 1 tower instead of a tier 2.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I really think it's maybe just team communication where... I don't know. They're behind a little bit. I mean, more now, but before that, I don't feel that they were that much strategically behind.
They weren't behind that much, indeed. I mean, if we look at the gold graph, they were about 500 gold behind when that fight actually started, and right now they're 3k behind. Same thing goes for the experience. A little bit more experience behind now, even, but kills mean more, etc. Later.
Right. I mean, gold is a little deceptive this game, just because Doom needs more gold to be the equivalent of like a better hero, basically. But not that Doom is bad. I love Doom. I'm just saying, like, he's kind of like Alchemist, where okay, his net worth is higher, but that doesn't mean he's doing better.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, I think that they don't know. They didn't need to give that away, and they gave away a tower, 3 kills, and a Roche, which is a lot to lose in one fell swoop.
We've got drums almost up on MIB. No new items just yet on next to the BKB, of course, that Doom had earlier. But other than that, everybody is just trying to defend or trying to make something happen. They're not necessarily trying to farm, apart from Doom. which is something that is pretty risky because right now,
What?
like, who's gonna be 7 carry? And why did they kill the courier? The dire courier actually went down. Well,
Oh my goodness! So they killed the courier with Doom. So here's what happened: the courier was carrying a gem, so he has the gem now.
Oh, no. Who has the gem?
Doom has the gem.
Oh, Visage has the gem. There we go. Picked up by Visage.
Oh, now it has Visage. Yeah.
And now it's picked up by the Nyx. Thank you! Making it confusing. But that only just picked up that gem and already changed. That's a big blow.
Well, it was being delivered to them, so
Yeah.
they didn't even have it for any period of time.
Oh, that is so painful. And I don't know why the courier was there, actually, because...
It was sending it to Naga, I think.
Mispositioning then, I think.
It was a little bit of mispositioning because they did have the wards to see that Duza were coming, but that's such a pain in the ass. Like you've been buying dust and sentries all game, and you're finally like, I saved 850. I never have to buy dust again, and it dies on the courier.
Oh, I know that feel. It's so terrible. I know that feel. Oh well, let's see if they can do it without the sentries, or without the gem, and now having still dust. Nagasara only has 1 though. In theory, Brewmaster has 1 as well. Well, that's very friendly. Purchased by Screen, of course. And we have got Screen, by the way. It's constantly tagged with Nexus, so this is basically the same way that we saw the fight getting initiated previous time. I mean, Screen is gonna get attached to Nexus the entire time, and when a fight breaks out, they're gonna relocate and then they're gonna be there, as Nexus actually has his heart ready.
Yeah. Heart is a really big deal here. It actually means that he doesn't really care as much about Doom now. Like, he's actually okay to just tank the Doom.
Bottom lane, a bit of pressure applied. Duza not answering for a team that looked so ready to fight a moment ago. They are, well, not wanting to
That fight really did set them just a tremendous degree behind. I mean, it's an Aegis Heart Lifestealer. So what's that? Like, with the armlet, 6,000 effective HP? Like 7,000 effective HP?
Yeah, that should at least be given a tower away. Duza can't really fight. Even if they Doom Nexus, it doesn't really matter. Oh, in comes a Blink the Clap. They want to try it. The split is there as well. Astron Prism is still on Nexus for now. But it is the Storm that, or the spirits that are able to just dominate everybody. Limbo already goes down. Naga Siren gets sacrificed. Sidu is able to get himself out. The Spirit's actually getting controlled nicely by the familiars here, as Stellianer is back to his normal self. Some extra tracks giving Legion some extra speed, but he's not able to use it, getting stunned up by the tether. In comes a Blink Clap again. Can he actually get Capron? He should be able to if they dive. Open wounds there as well. Nexus now will be getting the kill. Unstoppable. I have to say only 3 kills. Because I thought it was gonna go way worse for Duza.
But it's the 2 cores and Visage. It's a tough loss.
Yeah.
Probably tower too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, and maybe more. Nyx Assassin. Yep. They're diving tier 3 towers. Well, they're tier 2. The tier 2 is not even dead yet. Now it is.
They just let the creeps get it. There's gonna be ceaseless pressure from this point since they didn't even lose the Aegis.
They don't need to move anywhere. Naga
No, they
Siren,
don't.
of course, still died, but he is now pushing top. He's fine. If need be, he can get relocated in by Screen.
Yeah.
This could
There's
actually
really
be
nothing
game.
Duza can do. I kind of feel that they gave it up with that tier 2
In
push.
comes the Doom. Let's see what Nexus can do here. BKB turned on by Limbo. He looks for Screen. He's able to get him as well. Now the Impale up Stellianer, who no longer has his ultimate, so goes down. Can they actually get Nexus here is the question. His Doom is about to run out, but in comes the actual Doom with the Shadow Blade. Of course there's an armlet, of course there's an Aegis, so at most he can get the Aegis. Oh, hello.
Oh,
Zelda.
Neek, you should infest in. Come on.
No, they're gonna try and maybe turn it around. The Song, yeah, they turn it around. No Song even needed. Impale still up on 2 though, that's quite neat. Cedo taking quite a bit of damage. Astral Imprisonment will hold him safe. It's 5 versus 3, so that means...
He meant to song. He couldn't because he got hit by an impale that wasn't aimed at him.
Well, that's gonna be the ending of that one, but they still lost our tier 3 and we still saw a little bit of the power that CD can put on if they just 5 men up. I mean, they still have an Aegis. Okay,
Yeah.
for only 2 or 1 minute right now, 30 seconds actually.
They tried a lot of stuff there that didn't like quite work out the way they wanted to, like the Naga song turnaround and the Wisp was actually Io was trying to relocate Lifestealer to Fountain, I think, at the like before they died, or rather before he died.
Let's see. 18 or 17 to 9. Kill score. Getting a little bit out of hand for Duza. Gold graph, same story. Experience, same story. Right now, it is Duza that's on the back end of things. So how do you think they should come back from this one?
We'll finish the cuirass on Doom. You absolutely need armor to deal with Lifestealer at this point. He does way too much damage for you not to respond with that. What's Bounty Hunter's status? I think Bounty Hunter maybe Vlad's as well, just to keep stacking that armor as much as possible. I mean, they have a really good late game lineup. OD is nothing to be trifled with. He just has his farm is completely flatlined, so they have to get that back on track. And that means somebody in the top lane farming, somebody mid farming, and then the jungle with Doom, and then Shadowblade out when there's trouble.
Yeah, it's one of the problems that we already hinted on earlier. I mean, they moved around a lot without actually trying to find any extra farm, and that's hurting them right now, especially
Exactly.
at the OD. I mean, he has his 4-staff, but a 4-staff mech for an OD that was doing well in the mid lane. I mean, he wasn't destroying Stellianer at all. Wait a second, this Lifestealer is on a gallop towards the melee Rex. Sentry Ward gets put down. Doom goes up, it's on Stellianer. In comes a Shackle though up on Limbo. Gets Astro in prison. For now, he's safe. But for how long will that last is the question. Screen backing up for now with the track on him. In comes the Sanity's Eclipse, not really doing that much by the looks of it. Stellianer might still die though. Oh, the Doom ends. And now he's Blitz. And now he can come back with a BKB ending for Limbo. That might be resulting into a team wipe, perhaps, we'll see. As for Imprisonment, Unstable, nice. Impale, tries to run, in comes a stun though, Unstable will go down. Windrunner already dead on the side of CD as well as the Naga Siren, but now they try to turn it around. Capron, open wounds on him. As for Imprisonment to keep him safe. Legion moving up the high ground. So far so good, as Brewmaster drops. Maybe Duza can defend this, Infest inside a creep. That's gonna be screen dead, now only a Lifestealer left alive. They know that he is here somewhere. But they don't know which creep it's in. And they don't have any creeps to take it down. Are they gonna follow him? They mech.
What was that trade, 4 for 1? It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a very good trade. There comes the
Nexus.
Infest out. Nexus comes out, goes for Capron, as for Imprisonment again, keeping him safe. And that's gonna be a kill. Nicely done. That's a team wipe. I have to say team wipe for the other team that I called out a team wipe for, but I have to say I'm impressed by Duza. A lot of control coming out from them in that fight. Knowing when to back off, when to go in. What did they type? What did they write?
Nexus wrote until the end, basically, like to the bitter end.
For glory. For glory.
Exactly. I mean, that's his first death this game.
Yes.
For Lifestealer. So
That's impressive.
he certainly had a pretty huge game.
Yeah.
But you could just see the impact of the Doom on this game. Like, even though they didn't kill the Brew in the Doom, it's enough to prevent the split at the time that you most don't want to see it, right? If by the time the split actually happens, there's already like 2 down, and you've ruined the like strategic positioning. And the other thing is they moved the fight back,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they doomed the Brew, and CDCD are like, we have to back up Brew because we have to wait for the Doom to expire for us to use Primal Split. So Io, Naga, Lifestealer, they all move off the racks. So they saved their racks with that Doom, and that's the impact of this pick. I actually feel that CDCD are, like, position for position, their execution has been tighter. But Duza is just really, really getting every ounce out of their Doom pick here.
And by the time that the Doom ran out, everybody of Duza moved back again, so it took quite a while before Stellianer was actually in the fight again, as we have Zonda
Right.
getting picked off there. That's a nice track kill for the Bounty Hunter. But it was perfectly executed from them. CD got just led around. They got just kind
You could just really feel, as you said, Shiva, that this is like their hero, like a hero that they build strategies around. They know how to play with it, because if it weren't for Doom, this game would have been beyond over a really long time ago.
Doom so far also only dying once so far. He has an Assault Grass. One thing that we have to start looking out for, especially if these fights are starting to happen closer and closer to those racks, are of course buybacks. So far, there's no buyback up on the Doom, which is of course the one thing that you would look for. Doom is pretty close though to his buyback, so hopefully we'll have it again soon. OD also has a buyback, so looking pretty solid there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for them it's a question to try and hold on, and maybe with those kind of fights, forcing CD back,
Yep.
making them pause, thinking, hey, do we not need more farm? Do we not need more time? And of course with that, Duza will get more time to farm up their own heroes.
Exactly. And the bounty hunter, the fact that he didn't die during that fight and put track on, I think, everyone, and got the solo track kill on Naga, all of a sudden he goes from having 500 gold to full BKB, right? So that is an enormous shift. It's going to be much harder to kill him. Basically, before they were just killing him incidentally, now they need to spend a bunch of lifestealer time chasing him around.
Well aimed preemptive shackle. Seedoy, by the way, he is very close to having a Scythe of Ice ready. Just about 200 gold. 250 gold and he will have it. And that will be a big change as well. Of course, if you can get a shackle or a hex up on someone before the BKB is on,
right,
that is a pretty big blow. As we have a fight for Roshan soon, I guess, as he is up once more. We have an Infest also in the Lifestealer that is tethered as well, and they're going for it. Limbo is standing right there, though. In comes a clap from the split. Next is already there as well, getting doomed straight away. They go for Seedoy. Seedoy dies. Naga dies. No song in this fight. BKB's up on BKB. He's looking for screen. I think he's dead. He is definitely dead. Try to relocate out. Nexus on the way out. We have a buyback for Seedoy, but power shots won't
Brew's
do
dead.
anything anymore.
No
and Brew, oh, tracked up, locked out, separated from his team, buys back instantly. Double kill for Limbo.
No ult.
Again, Duza. Impressive.
Nix.
Hello, Nix. By Nix, that's a gem dropping. Gets picked up instantly by Legion, though.
That's
Seedoy and Nex is still here, by the way. It's not over just yet. They still want to try and fight for this. The Shackle. Brilliant Shackle. Inca Seliener with the clap. Who are they going to target? Legion. Astron prisms himself. Seliener walking around can only hit things with his, whatever it is, his flail. Seedoy goes down for the second time this fight. Roshan drops Lifestealer with the Aegis, was able to take it down while the rest was fighting. Now Limbo gets opened up on Astron Prism, will keep him safe as Legion tries to do some extra damage there, but Nexus is raged, means Legion can't really do that much. Dust up on Limbo, Shadow Blade will not save him. He also doesn't have mana for it, actually now he does, but he gets slowed, gets ensnared, and will end up going down. Nice kill for CD, a lot of buybacks used for that fight, but in the end worth it because they take the fight, they take the Aegis, and they take the Roshan.
And they got the gem back. Doom does have buyback, so he's going to have to use it. That was really, really excellently done by CDCD. Really pulling together a scrappy defense. Great play by Seedoy, of course, and smart buyback.
Yeah, I have to say, slightly dire advantage helping out, of course, as well as the Impale comes. Seliener takes a lot of damage. In comes the BKB. Seliener dropped the song slightly too late. Zonder tries to buy accent for everybody off his team. Oh, but the drums are on. They go for screen. Astral Imprisonment. The tether gets broken. Nexus says, see you later, screen. I don't care about you. You're just a support. Nexus on the run, getting chased down by Unstable. He has got an Impale. Will use it, but his team is not close enough to go for a follow-up. And that will mean they have to let him go. But they do save their racks. Again.
This is really, really swingy at this point. Both teams just try to take an advantage. They're like, okay, it's time to end this game. And then the game doesn't end. And they're like, oh, crap. So maybe a little bit of overreach, although honestly I was surprised. For CDCD, it makes sense to trigger the buybacks at least.
Yeah.
The Duza attempting to go for Roche, I really thought they could have taken it. And it's just excellent play by CDCD. Basically 3 versus 5 to pull it out.
Yeah. They sacrificed the Scythe of Ice for it, for the Windrunner, though, because she's very far away again now. One thing that I want to point out, because I hear myself say it quite often, and I know that I normally don't, I keep saying that Legion saves this person. Legion saves that person. He is so spot on with his Astral Imprisonments in those fights. It's insane.
Yeah, he is. That's very true, and Prison is extremely important here because there's these long duration debuffs that you want to manage. So like Ensnare, Open Wounds is also a really, really big one. You can ruin the entire like slow duration of the open wounds, basically, or the big slow part, anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, getting an Astral Imprisonment on the wrong target can totally break the fight for you, of course.
Oh yeah, for sure. There was one fight at bottom tier 2 where he prisoned the target that Doom was about to doom, but other than that, it's been very on point.
Are we gonna see a tier 1 tower drop? Yep. I mean, this fight is about even. It feels like the teams are right now on even ground. There's still, well, there were still 5 towers left standing on the side of CD for Duza to take down. Of course, we're still 2 on the side of Duza, now only 1 left, as CD is trying to pressure the top lane. They've had enough of that bottom lane where they can't break the racks. But they are forcing out some teleports there, as the familiars will try to get rid of the... Nope, never mind. They won't try to get rid of the tier 2 fortification. The tier 3 is already dead, almost as good as Blink.
Ooh, nice blink. Stellianer getting away from that Impale. That would have forced a very bad fight for them, actually. So it was a really, really good blink by Brewmaster.
Does leave the tier 3 on only 42 HP though, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But they get 2 towers for 1 tower and most of their tier 3, I guess. It's nice that they get themselves some extra gold. I mean, we have now also Capron that has picked up an Aghanim Scepter. That's going to be having a bit of an impact. We have almost a 4-staff completed on the Nyx Assassin. On the flip side, it is Windrunner with her Scythe of Ice now ready as well.
A tier 3 tower mostly dead for Duza is actually not that big of a deal. I mean, obviously it's rough, but there's not that much split push power coming out of CDCD, so you don't have to be super concerned about a Windrunner. Sorry, a Windrunner versus like an anti-mage or a Nature's Prophet pushing down your base. It's much less scary. So I actually think taking those 2 tier 2s is those 2 towers bot is really important. It gives them better equity for future Roshan fights, and I think it's an okay trade for what they lost.
Yeah, we have a smoked up CD. Look to go for it. Of course, they still have an Aegis, and they also have an Abyssal Blade up on the line.
He's so big, though. Yeah, Lifestealer is really difficult to deal with here. Doom has lower net worth, and Doom at equal net worth is not as strong as Lifestealer in the first place.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if they can get a good initiation off. Of course, Lifestealer is gonna be the Doom target, unless Stellianer sacrifices himself, which he's not gonna do. They try to back themselves out of the fight. The Doom is still there. Bounty Hunter already dead, and Limbo now. BKB's up. Gets ensnared. Gets taken down because the Song is making sure that he's the only one that they can attack. On to the next target. It is Legion that they want. And it should be Legion that they get as well. The Hex is there. MIB, he bought back. And he will be the one to try and get away from this one, as Legion is already actually 4-staffed out, so he is staying alive for now. Opens up on Unstable, and there goes the Aegis. Unstable living as well. Stellianer now gets forced away from the enemy base and will end up dropping. Capron now fighting with Nexus. Astral Imprisonment once again, there it is. Nyx Assassin, of course, was still dead, but it's 3-4-2 right now, and not a bad score for Duza. Once again, they will lose their tier 2 tower, but I don't think they're going to lose a Rex right now.
Shockingly. Well, we'll see. There's still 35 seconds for Doom. It's going to be pretty tough to defend against this Nexus push anyway. It's... Maybe they can do it. I mean, I've doubted them before, and they seem to be able to really pull off these good defenses.
Oh, Legion, what are you doing? He walks right into the Hex. Astral Imprisonment, though. Make sure that Nexus cannot chase. In comes the Familiars, Disables, and the Impales. Nexus, what are you doing? He'll live.
They did it. They defended.
They did it.
Doom is back up. That's... wow.
That's impressive.
Really, really good job. I mean, OD, the thing is, even without items, this guy is going to do really good damage as long as he has decent levels. And now, basically, because he lived through that fight, that's his Scythe of Ice. That's going to ramp his damage potential and give them another critical disable. So, a really well put together defense. After Doom went down, I was like, oh, they are really, really in trouble here. Because his buyback is still on cooldown.
I thought, like, okay, this is the ending CD. They take a good fight and they win, but nope. Legion lives. Bounty Hunter actually buys back and lives. I was actually thinking he was gonna die as well, but no. He was able to sneak out of the fight. It felt like, you know, 2 people like a comic book. If a lot of people are fighting in a comic book, you have like a smoke with arms and legs sticking out of it, right? And Bounty Hunter was just walking out the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, he did die the once. He instantly fought back, but yeah, now moving towards what I guess is probably a Halberd. They got to find ways of dealing with this Lifestealer, because it's so much of the damage coming out of CD.
It's insane. We have 4,200 gold up on Limbo as well. Of course, he wants to keep his buyback ready, and his buyback is up again. But
I would say that he can get a little more, but eventually he needs that Scythe of Ice. Yeah. So even if a fight breaks out, I think he might just get it. I don't know.
It's either buyback or the full Scythe of Ice.
Yeah. I mean, Capron has, like, this Visage has always just been a little bit ahead in terms of how much money he's able to spend relative to any of the other supports.
Yeah.
Because Nyx is in a hard 5 roll, and both the supports of CD have had to buy, you know, roughly a trillion centuries and stuff early on.
Yeah.
So, Haya with a Vanguard, by the way, not every day you see that. It's kind of neat. It's the poor man's heart. Heart, of course, is hilarious on IO, but it's hard to get the money for it.
Yeah, I like the Vanguard on the IO, actually.
It's okay.
It's okay,
I mean,
yeah, it's funny.
Who's it gonna save you from, really? Like, it's not bad, but on the other hand,
you can survive longer if there's a Doom on you.
Yeah, but
but there's not gonna be a
Doom IO. Like, there's too many other good Doom targets. If this game goes super long, I don't mind seeing a refresher, by the way, for that Doombringer. Like, there's 2 people you really want to Doom every fight, and you only get 1 Doom, except if you have Refresher Orb.
The way this is going, this game can be going on for a long time because they are basically exchanging blows left and right, but nobody's really getting anywhere with them.
Yeah, I would still say that CDCD, I've said this like at every point in the game, like CDCD are still a little ahead, but
Yeah.
Duza are doing an amazing job of hanging on this game.
Look at the golden experience graph. We are 43 minutes into this game.
0.
And both golden experience are on the 0 line. Of course, experience graph is gonna soon not matter anymore at all because we're gonna reach at some point. People are gonna reach
people are
level
maxing.
25.
Not quite yet, actually. People
Yeah.
are surprisingly low level for this late in the game.
Level 21.
It's paired out. They've started 5-manning. Like Limbo and Nexus used to be like 7 levels ahead of the rest of the team, but now they're just traveling with their team.
But it's insane that that actually happens at 43 minutes in the
sure.
game. It's
Unquestionably, yeah.
good. We're gonna see a fight soon again on the Roshan, which is about 50 seconds away from respawning. I think CD still has an edge. We're gonna see if that actually pans out in the Roshan pit as well. Of course, last time they only won it because they had plenty of buybacks to use. This time, do they actually want to use buybacks for that? I mean, they have them. They have one on the IO Lifestealer. Stallianer actually does not have one at the moment. Yeah, it's got his acronyms though.
I think cheese plus Aegis is worth fighting for, so they may have to use their buybacks.
No, they infest.
Oh
already.
no, don't lose the familiars though, be bleak.
They saw the infest though.
They did see the infest. That's a big deal. I feel bad. I'm like lagging really bad on Skype and in game.
Oh, I don't hear you lagging on Skype, so it's fine. If that happens, I will let you know that you are indeed lagging on Skype, which is not the case for me at the moment, at least. So that's
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting because it's horrible on my end, but I'm glad it sounds okay on probably the outbound end.
Sorry.
That's okay.
You sound bad.
They're just gonna take it.
Yeah. Duza too late with coming in, and if you, right now you need a song. Familiar is gonna be too late. Lifestealer with Aegis. In they come though. They still want to fight. The Doom Up Stallianer. No split this time. The Shackle doesn't latch. Ah, nice. Sanity's Eclipse already burst down IO, but he's gonna relocate back in, so we'll be here for another 12 seconds before he gets sent back home. Maybe he can be taking someone with him as Tito is getting forced away. It looks like Duza is backing off, and MIB gets ensnared, but are they gonna go for this?
No, no way.
They can't. They can't, especially not with people coming in, perhaps.
I think that was just a little bit of missed decision making from Duza. You can't go that far away from the pit when the other team can kill Roche as quickly as they can.
Yeah.
It was kind of an unforced error, I would say. Now they're down to Aegis and Cheese. It's really tough. Once you get to the Cheese Roshan period, waiting 6 minutes becomes a little less appealing because sure, you can wait out the Aegis, but then the other team has the option of just taking the next Rosh and stacking the Cheeses, and it becomes grimmer and grimmer prospect to actually fight against that.
Yeah, we do have a side advice ready on the OD right now. Saved for buyback still, making sure that he has that. We have a 4-step up on the Nyx. Maybe they just want to try and make something happen with the smoke. That could be it. And they kind of need to, I think. They should try.
It's gonna be difficult. Again, Lifestealer.
Because he probably.
Lifestealer's...
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I would expect Limbo to actually buy something before they try and fight again, because he got 7,200 gold.
Yeah, he doesn't need all that to buy back. That's certainly true. He has room to buy a pretty expensive item and still buy back. The thing is, he can't, like, Vlad's is going to be a really good item for them, but there's no room, and, like, Doom needs to have bigger impact items in his inventory, so he can't really afford the room for the Vlads. He needs something bigger, which means the Bounty Hunter has to get it.
Yeah.
But he has to wait for Halberd first, so it's going to be a while.
Yeah, we have another gem picked up by Naga. I say another because I think they already had one, but actually Nixon has it in his inventory right now. Gets swapped around like crazy. Meantime, all mid for CD, so perhaps looking to end it. We have got a Butterfly Doom.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
He's got to carry. He's their damage. OD and him are both their damage.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It works out.
I don't know how common of a pickup that is. I wish we had K-pop to tell us, but I think here it's actually pretty smart. Like, you go to war with the army you have, right? Like, they don't have an anti-mage, but that doesn't mean they can't use the massive attack speed boost. The only unfortunate thing about Butterfly, of course, is that Doom is not an agi hero, so it doesn't give him as much damage as he'd want. But just the dodge will be great. There's no MKB up. In fact, there's not really even room for an MKB.
And would you expect that you would need to build an MKB if you were a lifestealer in this game?
Against Doom?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna expect
honestly,
that.
he's gonna see it soon because there's gonna be Halberd up for Bounty, which is dodge, because it has Talisman in it, and up for Doom, which is dodge. So Lifestealer, once he loses the Aegis, will unquestionably put an MKB there, I think.
And he'll be able to buy it straight off the bat because he also got 7,100 gold right now.
Right.
So he'll be fine. Bottom lane and pushing it out.
Getting big, by the way. 3k.
I think actually they might just try to go bottom and, you know, just disregard heroes and just rage and go up on the barracks.
Disregard heroes, acquire currency. Yeah, I agree with you. I think they can at least rax them. The thing is, if they rax them and lose 5, it's bad because you probably get counter raxed in the bottom.
Oh, familiars. That's one familiar down. 100 gold going to screen.
Actually, he's gonna lose all of them. Yeah, that was a mistake. He has the resummon probably. Yeah, he does.
Be careful right now. The Hex already up on the Lifestealer. The Hex also up on Legion though. In comes the BKBs. Nexus tries to open up on the Nyx. As from Prisman is there. Opens up on Legion and he's actually able to get him down. Infest out. Doing a lot of damage to both Unstable and MIB. But he gets stunned up and tracked up and killed off. Down goes Cedoy as well. In comes the Lifestealer once again. As also Aya will be back here shortly. Legion still, or Doom still alive on this one, gets us from Prisman. Look at the damage that Nexus has already taken after getting back up, and they actually are able to kill him off. They are able to defend their racks. And Brew is also dead.
Unquestionably. I mean, he's got a long time left, but it's gonna be rough.
I can't believe that I can do it again.
Yeah.
Nice blink, but in comes the Force, the Impale, the Mana Burn, the Track, the kills, the level deaths, yeah. They do it again. They do it again.
I mean, the thing is, Nexus is tanky, but he's only got 6 seconds of rage. And at the end of those 6 seconds of rage, OD is just dumping damage onto you. You're probably scythed. They're gonna throw absolutely everything they have at you, and he is their only damage source, basically. Oh, Unstable in a lot of trouble here, though. Oh, this is bad, actually.
Nice
Real
shackle.
bad.
Two supports getting picked off Capron. Can't really hope to get away from this one. Use his Ghost Scepter, but he'll die. Familiars probably will die afterwards as well.
He's got buyback for Visage. No buyback for Nyx.
Oh, one familiar lives, and the other one will live as well. Barely, but living nonetheless.
It's a big deal, because there's no resummon. Even if Visage buys back, oh, ouch. This is actually, like, you can't underestimate these familiars. The stuns are really important.
Yep. Yeah, we've seen the stun having big impacts up on Nexus earlier on as well. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. It becomes the sort of situation as Lifestealer, okay, he's going Hyperstone, so do they not have a Cuirass? Oh yeah, they don't. Neat. Brewmaster has just been spending money on buybacks.
Yeah, and he just did it again.
Yeah. Interesting.
Bottom lane again. This time, there's no buyback up on the OD, of course.
Oh, nice relocate.
Relocating into Doom is already up on Nexus, though, but he's gonna try to kite people around while still Laner's trying to do the damage. Limbo still ensnared. In comes the Song. MIB, the only target up. He goes for Nexus still, though, and actually is able to force him away. That's a bounty on there. Oh, Stellianar, he just died and fight back! And he dies again! In comes an Impale Zonder, getting killed off. Windrunner Cedoy, we will follow suit because there's no way out for this one. Double kill. This bounty hunter with his BKB on, with of course also Heaven's Halberd helping out for sure.
Yeah.
He was able to force Lifestealer away by himself because he was the only one there. And again, they saved the racks. I can't believe that they are holding on.
Yeah. How many times have CDCD attempted to take this bottom racks? I think that was attempt number 4. And that one was the costliest one because they had just bought Brewback for it.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be so painful. And I mean, luckily for CD, there's still 2 tier 2 towers left standing. So CD will probably lose those before they lose anything else.
I want to say though, I really do think that the Vanguard for IO, like they had enough money that if he hadn't gotten the Vanguard, I bet he would have been able to get the heart.
Yeah.
And Lifestealer, if there were 2 hearts, like if you were getting the heart regen from Wisp onto Lifestealer, I feel that he would actually be tanky enough to live through some of these fights that he just eventually gets burned down on. Nice relocate though.
Very nice. Shame it didn't end up working out at all. Limbo might be in some trouble here. He goes invisible, but they still see him with a gem. Limbo will be picked off, should be picked off. Infest out. In comes an Impale. Mana Bird up on screen, but the relocate's already out again. Buyback for the Doom. That's gonna make sure that Duza doesn't really. Oh, actually, Boots of Travel, and he's back. Yeah. I was gonna say it's gonna make sure that he doesn't push. But
if he wants heart or something, he can just take the Reaver right now. He should buy out. There's no reason not to buy out.
Yeah, he doesn't have buyback or anything. He just used it. So
He could get another option is Ethereal Blade. Now he's got all that edging. No, I think he should get Heart.
Oh, in comes the Hex, in comes the Clap and the Split as well. BKB's already turned on. They go for Scream first, or Nexus, who's already doomed up, who is able to get some bashes in. But Nexus, the first one to die of the two that were in the man fight. The Split is still trying to make something work as Limbo tries to get himself away. Zonder tracked up, killed off, Screen still in the middle of this. Together with Titoy, both now picked off. And it is Brewmaster once again that is the last one alive, who is just not able to do enough with his ultimate and will end up being forced back into his fountain. I don't think they can actually kill him off, especially with that impale missing, but this is actually the first racks that go down. The tier 2 tower mid, actually, they don't care.
Go GG.
They're gonna go for it. Why not? No buybacks. Duza.
Right. They're gonna win. Wow. What a game, honestly. Duza really, like, I don't want to say growing up, but, like, for a young team, that was such a poised, like, collected comeback. Really, really well played.
Incredibly well played. Guess it's not over just yet. For now, maybe Stoliator is not giving up,
over.
but there's no buyback. Oh, clap. No, GG called. That's it. That's gonna be Duza taking a game and taking the first game, and taking the first game of the season, second game of the season that they play, but very, very good game. Very good game.
That was an extremely legit game from them. They basically funneled CDCD, or CDCD kind of fell for this themselves. They started out with a strategy where ostensibly Brewmaster and Windrunner could have this sort of secondary impact, but they spent so much money on like things like brew buybacks, and Windrunner had a just slow enough start that as the game wore on, instead of becoming better positioned with like multiple core options, like the Windrunner becoming big, the brew, they funneled more and more into Lifestealer, and he became a bigger and bigger deal. But the flip side is, Duza no longer had the problem of who do we doom. Just doom Lifestealer every single time. And so Doom is better the fewer cores the other team has. And so when they end up with this solo core lineup in the long run, suddenly Duza's lineup works amazingly well, and they were able to defend their racks and just flip it around onto CDCD. Great game. Good way to start the day.
Indeed, we are going to see if CDCD can get themselves a win still, because we are going to see them again, this time up against Next KZ, if I'm correct, so stick around for that. Of course, you are watching StarLadder. It is day number 3 of the StarSeries Season 7, and we're going to head ourselves into the second game of the 4 games that we're going to see today for StarSeries. So stick around, and we'll be right back.